Okay, here we are with Father Roland. And please pronounce your last name so we get it right.
Berngeh.
Berngeh? There we
Yes.
go, Father Roland Berngeh. And
Yes.
he is our new parochial vicar here at St. Joseph's Church in Ellsworth. And we're also excited to have you here after so long a wait of hearing that you were coming. Um, so we
Um,
just want to give people a chance to get to know you a little bit better. I just wanted to ask about you're from Cameroon,
yes.
and maybe you could tell us a little bit about Cameroon of what that's country is like. Most people probably don't know.
Well, if you look at the elbow of Africa,
Uh,
there, the west coast, you
yes.
see that's where Cameroon is hanging exactly.
Okay.
West Africa, at the elbow of Africa there. So a country with like 24, 25 million people,
Hmm.
and just two seasons, the wet and the dry season, 6 months each.
Okay. Yeah.
Not like men with
Not like
winter,
me.
6 months. So yeah.
And what well, Maine is a lot colder, I suppose, than
Oh,
like.
very cool. We are on the mountains in Cameroon, but it's not as cold as here.
Okay.
Yes.
And now tell me about your family. Are you just about what? How many
No,
children you?
I'm from a family of seven,
Mhm.
4 girls, 3 boys.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I'm the fifth
Uh-huh.
in the line. Father and mother are all gone. 1993, 1994. They went passed on in 1 year.
Oh, okay.
They imagine that there's marriage in heaven. It's unfortunately
Mm.
for
Oh,
them.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you were. What was your? How did you decide to become a priest? Or how were you? What was your calling to that? How did that happen?
Uh, it's a very simple story, but touching. My father was a cleaner for a missionary priest, an Englishman called Anton Smith. And my father, when he retired and came back home, priests from the parish, home parish, because they moved around to mission stations, and sometimes they spend the night in order to meet the people. It's not like here or in some places where you have just a one mission parish.
Mm.
And so when he came, I would be very anxious, excited, like a 2 year, 3 year old child. I must be aware of what was happening to me. My greatest moment was to see the priest, the white missionary, eat, how he eats. But I was being pulled out and I would cry. And father would say, leave him, leave him. I would go in and see how father was eating. And I will come out and I will be boasting to my junior and senior brothers. Have you ever seen father eat? That was how I got attracted to the priest. And when he went for mass, because he stayed in our house, the next day we all went to the church together. I would follow. And in the mass, there was another thing that was happening that was scary. There was this talk by the people, a myth about the breviary of the priest. I got to know that it was a breviary when I myself was following the priesthood. Because the priest would be praying, he's saying his morning prayers probably in the central eye and going up and down to the door and up to the front of the sanctuary. And since they said that if he touched you with that black book, you go crazy, I would sit by my mother. And when he came around, I will run into the bench for fear that he could touch me with that book and I would go mad. So I was kind of still frightened, attracted to the priest, but still frightened.
Mm.
And what cleared the myth was when another young priest, George Hanser, this time a Dutchman, when he came out, he was the youth chaplain and playing with us, football with us, a good footballer, soccer, I mean,
Yeah.
not the American
Right.
football.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, so a priest can play football, soccer? And I became interested in soccer and told myself, I must become a priest to play soccer. That's how they think the fire kind of. And well, then I went to the secondary school and joined the vocations group, St. Martin de Porres. And at the end of my secondary school studies, I applied to the seminary high school in Bishop Rogan College, which was a minor seminary, the only minor seminary in our church province. And so I went there and did my high school studies and then continued to the major seminary. Along the way, I discovered that being a priest was not about playing soccer, as I imagined before. But there was no way I could make a roundabout turn because I was interested in becoming a priest. And so I just went on. Even as a priest, I was playing. It's just that my age and weight,
Uh-huh.
I don't play for all the time. All right.
Okay.
You must retire from soccer. So that is how I got my vocation.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a great story. That's wonderful. So, okay. So now you're a diocesan priest. And
Yes, I'm a diocesan priest.
how is it that you came to the United States? How did this all come about?
Uh, I am a priest already. This year, 1921 will make me 36 years
Oh,
a
wow.
priest. And I know that I have worked well without looking behind, without looking for, I mean, I gave all my heart and mind and soul to my work,
Mm.
but I've never had a sabbatical. So this time around, as God would have it, I told my bishop, Bishop George Nkwo, I want to go and rest, my Lord, or else I will drop dead here and you have nothing. You too, you love me, I see it.
Mm.
But let me rest before I come back. And so he asked me where I would want to go. Well, I knew that Father Athanasius was here, but he suggested that I should ask Father Athanasius to find out from the Diocese of Portland whether they would want to have me. And he did. And then they wanted me. I said, hey, long live. So, and I came. I know that I worked with the Vicar General Dubois. In the
Mm.
meantime, he has been changed. But I have not met him yet. But it was a wonderful exchange.
Mm.
And finally, wanting to come, there was this corona thing that kept me. It took 6 months for me to really arrive.
Yes.
Man,
So,
that's it.
so this is your vacation here. This is your sabbatical. You're working here. You don't, you're not
Yeah,
gonna
well,
get any rest.
not as hard as I worked at home. I
Mm.
had so many caps to wear at home.
Yeah.
So I was almost everything for everyone, as Paul would say.
Mm.
Would give
Wow.
retreats here, would go for masses there. We have burials here. People will invite you there. Even in the parish, it was not easy.
Mm.
People came for spiritual direction and all sorts of things. So I know that I was a busy man.
Mm.
I had no time for leisure. I saw it.
Well, we'll try to take it easy on you here,
And
Father.
now I think it is easy here with Father Emil. It's a great one. We are taking
So,
it easy.
how do you know Father Athanasius? Is he from the same?
In fact, I recommended him for the major seminary.
Oh,
And this is how God works. He, after his high school, told his father he wanted to go to the major seminary. I'm sure the father did not cherish it.
hmm.
So, and then he told the father that there was a book they wanted him to buy. That is a Bible, Jerusalem Bible, which would cost about $30 in American money,
Hmm.
15,000 in our own
Wow.
francs. But the father told him, if that is what will take you there, then I will not give it. Then you will not be. So he came to tell me that his father was very discouraging and he did not know what to do. And as God would have it, I had a Jerusalem Bible that I bought. I had two actually. So I just went to the room and took one from my shelf and gave him.
Hmm.
And he was so happy. He can never forget me. He knows that if Father Roland did not do that, he would not have completed his prospectus.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had known him before he went to the major seminary.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, so you've blessed us in many ways as you're here and
really.
he's here because of you. So that's great. Yeah. Well, we'll have to do one of these interviews with him as well because we haven't done this before. I thought it was a neat thing to do. Um,
Yeah.
so now that you're here, what is your impression of Maine? How do you like the weather and the people and the parish?
Well done. The weather is really no problem. I think I adjust very fast.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing is if you love something, every other thing falls in place. Like St. Augustine used to say,
Hmm.
love and do what you want. I
Wow.
think that I love men and I am happy to be here.
Ah.
I had been in the States before, but where I was a mad place. I had been in Los Angeles to do my studies in Loyola Marymount University,
Ah.
97 to 2000, 1997 to 2000. But it's a crazy place,
Very
especially
different.
driving and all this. Even though they refused to give me a driving license, I have to do one here because they didn't give me, they told me that I had a very short time. So they
Mhm.
gave me only a testimonial, which I use for all the time.
Mhm.
So I wish they could just give me one here. I don't think that I'm a bad driver.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
so do you have what do you hope to do here at St. Joseph's other than
Uh,
not work as hard as you did in
no, I
Cameroon?
think the program here is wonderful. During the week, St. Joseph's is like my where I say masses, and if there would be burials and marriages and baptisms, all those other things that come, Father Emil, the pastor, and myself, well, we'll see who takes, but I'm sure that he will be happy to have someone who is relieving him and
Oh
is not
yes.
tied to it alone like before.
Mhm.
And I think here in St. Joseph's, there is really not much that would, except that for now, I'm tied down here because I don't have my driving license yet.
Mm.
When I will have it, weekends and Sundays especially, we'll be rotating.
Yes.
Father Emil, Father Athanasius, and myself will be moving around to the missions and parishes that are within our cluster. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people of the cluster?
And now I just to say that I am looking up to meeting people in Bar Harbor, South Harbor, or the islands, uh, Studdington, Bucksport. What are the places?
Pastine.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, yeah, you'll be all over the place.
yeah,
It's a big
yeah.
spread there.
It's I'm really anxious to meet them. I'm sure they have seen me on the diocesan newspaper, and
Mhm. Well, people are
so
definitely
we
looking
haven't
forward
met.
to meeting you.
Yeah.
All right, Father. Well, thank you very much for taking the
Thank
time
you.
here. It's been wonderful talking to you, and we'll put this up on our Facebook and on YouTube, and hopefully people will
Okay.
get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you, Dad.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Thank you. I'm happy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.